श्वेत पद्मासना प्रवृत्तिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
For the volunteers to please escort the authorities. It is a well-known proverb that actions speak louder than words. With the leaders like Professor Dr. P. Lakshmi ma'am, the proverb seems to do justice. Ma'am, you inspire us every day with your work. I would like to request Professor
Justice N.V. Anjaria, Judge, High Court of Gujarat. Distinguished patron, mentor and guide of this moot court competition, Honorable Mr. Justice Kalpesh Satyendra Javeri, former Chief Justice of Orissa High Court, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. A.K. Suryavanshi, Deans, Professors and HODs of Karnavati University, participants from different parts of the country. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to the UWSL Moot Court Competition on behalf of faculty, staff and students of UWSL. It's my pleasure, privilege to introduce the chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Anjaria, an eminent personality amongst the legal fraternity. His credentials as an eminent jurist are well established. His Lordship is also a trained mediator in the High Court Mediation Center. His articles, write-ups on constitutional and legal subjects are published in newspapers, books, and law journals of high repute. His Lordship's contribution towards the enrichment of jurisprudence is unparalleled. His judgments for protection of Asiatic line, fire safety norms, mental health in backdrop of COVID-19, EWS quota in civil judge recruitment, inclusion of nota as an option in local party election, mandating the imparting of vocational training to girls kept in shelter homes are nothing short of being a classic example of judicial interventions for holistic development of law and society. On behalf of United World School of Law, I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir. Let me have the pleasure and privilege of introducing Honorable Mr. Justice Kalpesh S. Javeri. Justice Javeri was elevated as a judge of the Gujarat High Court in 2004 and became the Chief Justice of Orissa High Court in 2018. As Patron-in-Chief of Odisha State Legal Services Authority, he improved the system of Lok Adalats and mediation in the state of Odisha. Several legal literacy camps and legal awareness camps were organized during his period, as he believed that the system is meant for the common man and there is always a need to empower the people by making them aware of their legal rights. As law students, you will also be happy to note that Justice Javeri was the Chancellor of National Law University, Odisha, and as Chancellor, he contributed significantly to raise the quality of legal education being offered. He has also contributed significantly to the development of Gujarat National Law University while he was a judge of Gujarat High Court. This quality of protecting the rights of the common man, he inherited from his father, who was an advocate, and from his grandfather, Sri Kalidas Jaskaran Javeri, a freedom fighter who was closely associated with Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel. There cannot be a better person to inspire the young law students to acquire the skills needed for the lawyering profession. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of the staff, faculty, and students of Karnavati University. I once again take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to each and every participating team. I wish you all a happy mooting. May the best talent win. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to request Professor Dr. A.K. Suryavanshi, Sir, Vice Chancellor, Karnavati University, to felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Anjaria, Judge, Gujarat High Court, with a memento. Thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, Dean, United Woods School of Law, to consider it as a great honor to welcome Professor Dr. A.K. Suryavanshi, sir, the renowned and gracious dignitary, to deliver special address.
Agre Sarvada Agre Sara N.V. Anjaria sir, Honorable Justice K.S. Javeri sir, Dean of the School of Law, Dr. P. Lakshmi ma'am, all the distinguished faculty members, heads of department, heads of other schools, faculty members from other schools who are present here, the participants of this moot competition 2022 who have come over from different places, all I think 90 odd members after 28 teams, my colleagues on faculty, and most important, my daughters and sons in the audience. A very, very warm good afternoon to all of you. Namaskar, sir. This is my proud privilege, and I'm so blessed this afternoon to welcome Honorable Justice N.V. Anjaria, sir, and also welcome Honorable Justice K.S. Javeri, sir. So if you meet one library, what do you think? You think probably the entire wisdom lies, but when you meet two libraries together, what do you think? You get confused whether are you worthy of entering one of those libraries? This is my feeling, sir, this evening, when two distinguished lighthouses of legal system who have given the entire life, they were so brilliant that they could have been anywhere in the world, but they chose the path of delivering justice here in India to serve the motherland, to serve the humanity, to serve the common people. And with this, you are full of humility, and you feel that probably our journey has not even begun, sir, when we look at you, sir. So grateful to you, sir, for taking our time for coming this evening. Equally is important because the judgments delivered by your lordship, Justice N.V. Anjaria, sir, and your lordship, Justice S. Javeri, sir, are itself, I'll say it's a curriculum. So as the law students, I'm sure you have gone through some of the judgments. Some of those judgments were very, very difficult judgment. Some of the judgment, I'm sure it was delivered in 10 minutes, but sir lordship would have spent at least 10 days to go through, to introspect, and also think again before delivering, because the nation poses the maximum faith in the chair of judiciary, and rightly so. It is said that any nation where justice is kept intact and justice is kept at the highest pedestal are going to be the civilization who will survive. Probably the Indian civilization has survived in 5,000 years, when most of the civilization has perished without a trace, is this, that there was always a justice, Prajapatiyam Sahajam Purastat, right from the age of Chanakya, when it was said that when he told Chandragupta, Prajapatiyam Sahajam Purastat, Ayusham Agram Pratiman Shubhram, for you, the people of your state are the most important, not you. And you should be very careful that justice is given to them. So that's how probably the nation has survived so many years. But as a law students, I'm sure you are going to hear lordship, from the lordship a lot of wisdom, and they are going to share their life experience. And also as a fatherly figure, what they want the future officers of the court to emerge out of this campus and many campuses. Lordship has not agreed to come here just on our request, but lordship agreed to come because they wanted to meet the future officers of the court that are sitting in front of them. And also they see the spark, and probably they want a promise from all of you that you will serve the court the way it is expected to serve. But the business world, the society is changing. And as the law school, you have to also expect a lot of research into business law research, family and medical law. And I have noted down from Oxford Law School actually. Before coming in the morning, I thought, what is happening in the law world? Human rights, jurisprudence, law and technology, mercantile, criminal and forensic law, civil law, taxation, constitutional law, and several others. And most important, of late, conversational intelligence law. This I was very surprised when I look at the Harvard Law School. What is conversational intelligence law? So much of, research is going on. So I think all the law school students here, you would be expected to please read those, establish those chairs, be part of those research center, so that the benchmark is very high. By the time you become the officers of the court, the benchmark will be higher, because technology, even if the lordship will go through their own wisdom, but technology is all around. So you have to do a lot of research, you have to rely on technology to do the research findings, and come with a conclusion before you are worthy of choosing what is harder right than the easier wrong. Temptation will be a lot every time to prompt you to choose the easier wrongs, but it's very important to choose the harder right than the easier wrong, because as the officers of the court, you got to have the hope beyond hope that the common man looks at. And a few things are very, very important. You have to do the factor analysis because judgment by the point of law is one part, but there will be a lot of influences. Influence in a way of the factors. What circumstances made it happen? So I think you will be required to study those factor analysis. And I think Lordship Justice Javeri, I just heard he is expert of statistics. So I think maybe sometimes the master class, sir, I request you how to decipher those variables, and they become really worthy of what is important. But as a lawyers, you will be required to speak more. But to speak more, you have to listen more as well. So I think you'll have to inculcate this also, that you listen more before you speak, whatever you have to speak, because at end of the day, every officer of the court is doing the God's work. It's actually the God's work. Because when every door closes, when there's abyss, when there's a darkness, there's a one door that is open, and that is the temple of the law, where your lordship resides and your lordship delivers the judgment. Sir, on behalf of the university, I'm very, very grateful to you, your lordship, for taking our time for us and coming and encouraging our students. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivational words. I am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Kalpesh Satyendra Javeri, prestigious presence in today's event. We all are truly inspired by your deeds, sir. Sir, you have motivated us all enough by being an example of light in the darkness. His words are quintessential for the students who want to be like him one day. On behalf of all gathered here, I welcome you, sir, for this inaugural ceremony. Today, we are privileged to have an opportunity to listen to him this evening. Over to you, sir.
Brother Justice N.V. Anjaria, Vice Chancellor Mr. Shuransi, Madam P. Lakshmi, Dr. P. Lakshmi, Head of the Department, faculty members, future lawyers, Advocate General, Attorney General, and hopefully future my brother judges and sister judges. And especially I welcome those students of this university who are working as a core team and taking care of their friends coming outside Ahmedabad. Give them good treatment for the Ahmedabad treatment. First of all, let me tell you, people are fortunate enough. We have no moot court competition. And the first day when I was in the court, let me tell you, I was shivering. Therefore, you people will have an advantage that you people will not shiver in the courtroom when you have to address the court. Therefore, you people are very fortunate that you know what's the court etiquettes and what is required. I'll give you bird eye view for what is moot court, what is required, and I request my friend, my brother, because we have a three role. Originally, we were practicing together. Then we were judges together. And now, last 5 years, I have left Gujarat. Therefore, we are in three different roles. A moot court is a imitation of a real court to help you have a insight of a legal procedure of the court. It helps the students to understand the etiquettes, decorum, and discipline of a courtroom. A moot court prepares students for a presentation before a court and the legal procedure followed within the courtroom. What are you required to do? You are required to follow certain steps. Drafting a matter which shall consist of a written compilation of pleadings, written arguments, and contentions. It should also consist of all relevant documents which you wish the court should refer, evidence, case law, which have been referred by the parties. You are required to follow certain etiquettes. Mooting is not debating. That you bear in mind, because while judging the moot court, this I have observed. Mooting is not a debating. You should always be courteous, polite, respectful towards the judge, and never raise your voice. Always refer to a judge as Your Honor, Your Lordship, Sir, if it is in Hindi, Janab, or Honorable Bench. Always ask for permission from the judge before you start presenting your case. Always be patient and allow the judges to put their queries. Always be honest with the court and never suppress fact of the evidence. Even if it is against you, even in the moot court, you can concede, yes, this fact is against me. Moot court resembles a mock trial and prepares a student for the real court proceedings. A student may be required to act as a state prosecutor or a defense lawyer. The student shall be provided with the proposition and case in advance. Procedure normally followed and adopted. In mock trial, students have to do examination in chief, cross-examination, and final argument. Provisions of CRPC shall apply as given in the chapter relating to trials. As we know, there are different types of trials, like trial by the court of sessions, summary trial, etc. Students will be told in advance. I sincerely hope that this guidance for the competing in a moot court competition will assist the advocate in preparation for the future before a real court. The best advice that I can give you to a lawyer for their presentation is to go through their points of arguments again and again and never be overconfident of their performance. Law is a vast subject and we keep learning and relearning till we retire from the practice. Even after retirement, I have to learn. Never lose your temper and confidence. Whatever the situation is, always remember, the more you practice and revise your argument, you will gain more confidence. To participate in a moot court itself is a partly success. Whether you succeed or not is irrelevant. Your participation, your preparation, your presentation, your hard work, and accepting the challenge is important and relevant. Wishing you everyone best of luck for the competition. Hard work is the only success for this profession. While concluding, most important piece of advice I would like to give to young aspiring lawyers is that success does not come on a silver platter. Whether the person is a first generation or second generation lawyer or a third generation of like me, you will have to work hard. And only way to practice law is to stay up late and burn the midnight oil. In this context, someone has rightly said, you are not a lawyer when you were graduated from law school. You are not even a lawyer after you pass the bar exam and you are admitted to bar. When you face a client or an opponent or a judge without overwhelming urge to throw up, then you are a lawyer. I unquote. On one instance, an Indian jurist, Sri Nani Palkhiwala, conveyed the following remarkable lines to learned senior advocate Mr. Harish Salve, which will be very apt to share at this moment. I quote, "Always be your own worst critic. If you finish on the argument in court, come and ask yourself, is there anybody else in the world who could have done a better job? And if you feel that the answer to this question is yes, then you have to do something better. Don't be intimidated by what others think of you. Don't be intimidated by the academic results of those. Asking yourself at the end of every trial, could anybody have done better than this? And if answer is yes, strive for better. And if the answer is no, smile. Then that is how life should be. Wishing you all the best. Thank you."
Thank you so much, sir, for to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice N.B. Anjaria, Judge, Gujarat High Court. Sir is profoundly loved and respected by his readers, especially youth, on whom he has got great influence due to his character and research work. Through Justice N.B. Anjaria.
Please be seated, all of you. Respected Justice K.S. Javeri, and my subject is little more heavy, so will pardon me at the outset. In any way, I'm delighted to be here with you. The Karnavati University and the United World of United School of Law have earned a prestigious name. When I had a glimpse of your impressive campus, I believe that it reflects the quality of education imparted here. The moot court competition organized, and it is getting flagged off from today, is an example of lot of such academic activities undertaken in this School of Law. Before I formalize myself, my sincere thanks to the Dean Professor P. Lakshmi and the colleague professor who personally extended a warm invitation to me. But then there was little more, much more for me in the store. It was Justice Javeri. We know him either Kalpesh Bhai or Justice Javeri sir, or Javeri sir, who personally called me up. Wanting my participation in this inaugural function. His request was a mandate for me. I was also a student like you, and student of Justice Javeri, when was a practicing advocate in the High Court. Justice Javeri was a benchmark for all of us to understand how to deliver a quick but substantive justice, how to address the real grievances of the litigants which lay behind their dispute and the legal cases. We knew from Justice Javeri how to deliver justice rather than disposing of the cases. Punctuality, precision, and perfection are the trinity virtues which we all need to imitate from Justice Javeri. He is patron of this event, but a guru personality for me. And when guru invites a disciple, it is a matter of privilege. Therefore, I stand with privilege before you when invited by Justice Javeri and the Dean of this college. Coming to the platform of this event and the subject, surrogacy in its legal and constitutional aspects and dimensions is a method of reproduction whereby woman agrees for the purpose of gestating and giving birth to a child which she will not raise herself but would hand over to a contracted party. She may be the child's genetic mother or may be the gestational carrier. The word surrogate is derived from Latin word subrogare, S-U-B-R-O-G-A-R-E. It means appointed to act in place of. The intended parents may be an individual or couple who intends to rear child after its birth. You must be knowing that surrogacy are of different kinds. Traditional surrogacy, which is one where a surrogate conceives her own biological child, but it is conceived with an intention of relinquishing it to be raised by the other, the biological father or the spouses. The gestational surrogacy is known also as host method, wherein the surrogate is not biological mother but embryo is transferred. There is also an altruistic surrogacy where surrogate mother does not receive any financial reward. Commercial surrogacy is probably a worst kind of surrogacy form in which the gestational carrier is paid to carry a child. In many Western countries, it must be to our surprise, the surrogacy is banned. In our country, now the law of surrogacy is codified in form of the Surrogacy Regulation Act 21, which received assent of the President 25th December 2021. Much before the codification of this law, the socio-legal aspects of surrogacy were dealt with by our High Court. Many of you rather, would be knowing about a case reported in 2010 2 GLR, page 1309. It is Jan Balaz versus Anand Municipality. A German couple who were unable to conceive entered into surrogacy agreement with a surrogate mother who was an Indian citizen. Another woman agreed voluntarily and with consent of her husband to act as a surrogate for consideration to be paid by Jan Balaz, a German citizen. The contract was drawn. The surrogate mother gave birth of 2 baby boys. But then issues arose because the German refused to give citizenship to the newly born. The Indian central government also took a stand that under the Citizenship Act, it was not possible to accord the status of parents to the couple, as they could not be said to be parents within the meaning of section 3(1)(c)(2) of the Citizenship Act 1955. It was on the ground that the surrogate was only instrument in giving birth to the baby boys without any biological or genetic contribution. The court, our High Court, considered the question whether a child born in such circumstances would get citizenship by birth. There is no precedent in our country on this issue. The division bench stated that section 3 of the Citizenship Act uses the expression every person born. Then the court emphasized the word person and the word born. Person meant a natural person, and the word born implied an act of being delivered or expelled from mother's body. Finally, the court declared that the newly born will have the citizenship status of India, who subsequently got the passport. Today, the law of surrogacy is codified, but in absence of codification and without proper regulatory mechanism, the very idea of surrogacy can be said to be prone and potent to degenerate into some social evils and a perturbed family situation. The Law Commission of India in 220th report advocated and recommended certain regulatory measures on the surrogacy practice. In the Surrogacy Act 2021, many of the recommendations made by the Law Commission have been translated in form of statutory provisions. The concept of surrogacy and surrogate mother are defined. Also defined is the term intending couple. The word couple means the married man and woman of marriageable age. The clinics are prohibited unless registered under the provisions of the Act to undertake any kind of activity or procedure relating to surrogacy and the surrogate birth. The provision is also made for constituting assisted reproductive technology and surrogacy boards at national and state levels. The commercial surrogacy and surrogacy with any commercial intent is prohibited by enacting necessary provisions in the Act. While defining surrogate mother, the surrogate mother includes a mother who fulfills the conditions provided in Section 4(b)(3) of the Act. Section 8 gives the child born out of surrogacy by deeming fiction the status of naturally born child will be getting all legal benefits of the prevalent law. Only altruistic surrogacy is permitted. The commercial surrogacy is prohibited. Banning of commercial surrogacy in the Act is a welcome provision. Treating the surrogate child with same pedestal with that of biologically born child will also put to rest many legal and social issues. But despite the codification of law on the surrogacy, the very concept of surrogacy, its procedures and such practice becoming increasingly likable in the society may give rise to many issues, socio-legal and ethico-moral, with legal and constitutional dimensions. The provisions of the Act may be misused, and still the commercialization of the human body is not impossibility. The issues of privacy in the context of Article 21 of the Constitution are likely to rise even after this Act. Right to enjoy parenthood is part of personal liberty and therefore can be said to be emanating from Article 21. The law in fact recognizes the right to enjoy parenthood. On the other hand, pitted against the emotional state of mind of a surrogate mother, where mother is having a genetic nexus or gestational connection, is bound to undergo trauma of parting with a child which she has given birth to be handed over to third parties. It is one school of thought that the idea and practice of adopting surrogacy procedures, encouraging surrogate mothers, and entitling the couples to get the child born through surrogate procedures have cascading effect on the social fabric and the family threads. On the other hand, the surrogacy is a boon for a childless couple, and a ray of hope is created in them to build up family of their own. In this moot court competition, will be debated all these issues which I have just given thought of without much application of mind. So these are just passing thoughts. My wishes to all the participants. I again thank you. It is really a delight, pleasure and privilege to be here in this renowned campus. Thank you very much.
Wisdom and motivational words. I would request everyone to please occupy the seats. Now I would like to request
Good evening, all the honorable dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, faculty colleagues, participants, and dear students. Thank you is the best prayer that cannot be viewed or discerned through touch. It should be felt by heart. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to propose a vote of thanks in the inaugural ceremony of UWSL National Moot Court Competition 2022. On behalf of Karnavati University Moot Court Society, I would like to express a heartfelt thanks to His Lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Anjaria, Judge, Gujarat High Court, for accepting our invitation to grace the occasion of inauguration with his benevolent presence and enriching inaugural address as a chief guest of this ceremony. We are highly obliged and would like to express our deepest gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice Kalpesh Satyendra Jhaveri, former Chief Justice of Odisha High Court, for his humble acceptance and profound patronage, not only for conduction of this national level competition, but even for other academic pursuits of United World School of Law. It is our distinguished privilege to express thankfulness to Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Judge, Supreme Court of India, for kindly accepting our invitation to grace the valedictory ceremony of the competition as the chief guest. We express heartfelt thanks to Honorable Judges of Gujarat High Court, District Courts of Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar, and esteemed representatives of Gujarat Legal Services Authority for gracing this occasion with their precious presence. We are equally grateful to our most revered President, Shri Ritesh Hada, and esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. A.K.S. Suryavanshi, for unwavering support endured at all possible stages while organizing this competition. We express our deepest gratitude to our respected Dean, Professor Dr. P. Lakshmi, for consistent encouragement as well as support to uplift legal education by kind consideration to organize various activities of Karnavati University Moot Court Society, and further by making a personal agenda to successfully organize this competition under her able stewardship. Karnavati University Moot Court Society conveys deep regards and hearty thankfulness to respected Registrar Shri Tariq Ali Sayed, Director Outreach Programs, ERP and Corporate Resource Shri Joydeep Banerjee, respected Director Innovation Department Shri Shrivendra Srivastava, IT Head Shri Chirag Sheth, Transportation Department Head Shri Ashesh Bhandari, KUFNB Head Shri Vinod Ji, and their offices for enduring assistance to successfully conduct this event. Our sincere thanks to all the HODs and deans of constituent colleges of Karnavati University present here today for gracing this occasion with their esteemed presence. We are extremely thankful to all our respected faculty colleagues, non-teaching staff members for their joint efforts to materialize this competition. We are beholden to Gujarat National Law University Gandhinagar for providing leather-bound barracks to all our participants. We are immensely thankful to our knowledge partner, Manupatra, for bestowing their support at the best possible level. We express gratefulness to the participants representing premier law schools, institutes, and universities across different regions of India for joining us as participants of this competition. It is pertinent to mention here that an event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated student committee and volunteers. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they express to take on completion of the tasks beyond their comfort zones. Last but not the least, we express thankfulness to all the students present here to make this day memorable. If time is money, then today you all have spent millions for us. Thank you. Successful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Now,
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात उज्ज्वल यमुना गंगा उत्सल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता